There we go. Tracy was helping me this morning because I was having some issues. Just have to figure out how to get this little screen on behind me. So we have a couple minutes. So I will try and figure out how to get this up here. No remote turns on the projector. I did that. I'm just looking for an HDMI, so bear with me. I'll unmute myself so you can hear what the heck I'm saying. Morning. So I'm having technical difficulties this morning. There's no HDMI cord that I am supposed to have to plug into my laptop to visualize all of this to everyone out there in Zoom land. So I am working on that. Give me 1 second. We'll probably get started here in like 3 minutes. If I can't find it, I'm just gonna roll with it. All right, well, we'll just roll with it. All right, so is everybody awake this morning? Oh, I just lost myself. Yes, no?
Yes.
Somebody's awake, yay! I am trying desperately to be able to share this and view you guys and all of this at the same time. So this is gonna be a super exciting morning and I'm not stressed out at all. I have no screen, just my computer. So viewing these slides is gonna be awesome. All right, so I know we have videos and we have some fun stuff to share and go over, but we are gonna start today with connect with your market and getting you guys prepared for success. All right. That is awesome. I downloaded my slides this morning and they're blank. See if I share my screen, if this is helpful at all. I'm gonna go with no. All right, looks like we have 13 signed in. I am gonna be the fun person and tell you for the most part, everybody's supposed to be on camera. So if you have a reason you can't be, just let me know. But otherwise, if I get to be here and smiling, you guys get to too. So if you guys can turn your cameras on, unless you have a reason not to, we can work on getting started. I know it's mean. It's too early. I'm gonna give guys a couple more minutes, just so we can get everybody's screen on, and sharing, and then it looks like we have 3 or 4 more that we're waiting for. So thank you, everyone that was here on time. I apologize for my technical difficulties, but we'll get the ball rolling. All right, no worries on your camera not working. Not gonna lie, I wish mine wasn't.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, you can just see me. You can sort of see the screen, but that's
Yeah, I can see the screen.
but you can just see it through my computer. Like it's in the background.
Yeah, it's in the background.
That's gonna have to do for now. All right, I can still see Tori, and somehow I managed. You're the only one I can see. Hey, Miranda, there's no computer on the, like I can't.
In the training room?
Yeah, I'm in the training room.
So you know the computer desktop on the table in front?
Oh, it's, yeah.
And then there's a computer right below it. Like the big box.
Yes, just unplug that.
Yeah, it's on the back side. And then it's the projector with the three out.
I have the projector on, yes. My poor Zoom people. Yeah, I'm on Zoom. I have everybody actively watching me not know what the heck I'm doing.
Okay. Do it. All right, so when that hooks up, so you'll project, is anybody in?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, in the room, no.
No, just online, everybody.
Yeah.
So you may not need the projector. So now, but now you can share your screen with them. Them to be watching stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I'm good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Okay, we're good. Forces came in to help. That should pop up. Make that a lot easier. We could actually participate as a group. How about that? All right. Everybody view. All right. Hopefully you guys weren't excited about starting on time today. All right, so we're going to talk about connecting with our market. So inventory, days on market, average price, unemployment rate, growth, all of those factors definitely, all of those things are a huge factor in what's going on in the market today, not only pre 2020 or during 2020, but for any of us that are new to the market, you're about to see some things that you probably did not expect if you got your license previously. You are kind of used to it being back to normal, if that's even a thing. Trying to pull this up at the same time and it doesn't not want to play with me. No, I definitely don't want that. So I just have to laugh because my PowerPoint is literally blank. And every time I pull up Zoom, Tori, you're the only person I can see, and I don't know why that is. You've literally lost everyone. There you are. As soon as you, like, you're literally the only person on the screen. Okay.
And then the minute I come.
Yeah, look at this. I am so sorry, you guys. My my whole PowerPoint is blank. So
I wonder why that happened.
I don't know, but it's fabulous. But I'm good.
You're good. You could wing it.
I can wing
You
this.
got it. Let me know if you need it.
Whiteboard. Look at that. I need someone else to teach this class. All right, I have my HDMI, so I'm gonna have a screen behind me. I can actually multitask. Again, I cannot apologize enough. So by raise of hands, because I can actually see everybody again. Who is new 2020 or newer? All right. Well, then you guys are in for a super treat. So I'm sure you guys have seen or heard people talking about it's okay if things don't sell in a week. It's normal if things are still on the market. Not things we definitely want to hear, but it is okay. It is relatively normal. It's definitely I would say you guys are at a better place doing it now than knowing or expecting the market to be what it was before. And actually being able to take your time and kind of breathe and learn at the same time. So what are some challenges that you guys feel that you're faced with being new, that you've seen, like stuff flying off the shelf and bidding wars and everything else? What's some stuff you guys have either heard about or experienced with days on market, for example?
People paying 100,000 sometimes over
Right? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad all that's gone.
for sight unseen.
Yeah, the sight unseen thing during 2020 was rough. People did have options, right, to get out of it if they, oh, just kidding, we didn't like the house, because we all, if you've looked at pictures or if you've taken a picture, even not even of a house, but of something, and you've gone back and looked at it and go, oh, wow, did the house really look like that? Or did I look like that? Or, you know, photos for the houses are the exact same thing. So knowing your market and connecting and doing the research to make an educated conversation with people is huge. We're still, I would say, kind of zip code right now. 80104 in Castle Rock, as an example, is still, if you look at market leader statistics, it'll say that it's somewhat of a seller's market. But if you go to 80108 or 80109, there is still a strong seller's market. So what does a seller's market mean in the grand scheme of things, right? So before Easter, we had maybe 5 houses in a specific area, in my area, on the market. And after Easter weekend, it was like a light switch went off. And we went to 150. So now, if you look at any given day, there's over 300 or more in a specific area. So you would assume that's a huge seller's market, right? But even with those numbers, a seller's market is considered less than 5 months of inventory. So what does that mean if you're a buyer? Are you going to get a good deal? Are you afraid to pull the trigger? Probably. Should you be? No. There's some great information out there. And if you guys have lender partners that you're already working with, and if you're not, I would highly suggest, if no one's reached out to you, call 3 or 4 of them and be like, hey, what can we do to attract more buyers? You know, a lot of lenders right now are pulling teeth to try and get us agents to, now they need us, right? People aren't just knocking down their doors like they were before to go ahead and we want to buy a house. Now buyers are kind of backing off, because in order for it to be a buyer's market, there should be more than 7 months of inventory. There's not. The numbers are higher than they have been the last 2 years, but there's not that much inventory out there, which is kind of why we're fluctuating, sort of dabbling in not so much 100% seller's market, but kind of still in that 70% threshold where it is. One thing that I think is great that you can do right now is you have buyers that are actually able to go back while you're in your negotiations and get things fixed where maybe before they were scared to death to do. I know I've personally just closed on a deal with a 1.5 pages of inspection items, and I wasn't afraid to ask for a 1.5 pages of inspection items. That was a Denver zip code. I have a golden zip code where the seller's agent, I have the buyer, and they were like, well, we have another backup offer. It's over what you guys are offering, just to let you know, kind of like the scare tactic of don't ask us to fix stuff because we have other people. But, it's finding that difference of where we're at, but obviously never letting anything go. Yeah, obviously you're fiduciary. So, as far as lenders and reaching out right now, while rates are higher than they have been, making those contacts with the lenders in your area, they'll help you stay up to date and answer questions that your client might have. A really great one is the price of waiting. Yes, rates are at a little above 6 or what have you, but does that mean that puts buyers out of the market completely? No, it doesn't. One great thing that we've done with a couple of our buyers lately is said, hey, we'll give you at ask or maybe a little bit over, but we want a interest rate buy down. Would you be willing to do that? And sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. Obviously, it's completely, the sellers still have that in their back pocket, if you will, but it is a great negotiating item to say, yeah, we'll give you full price. Your house has been on the market for 45 days. You probably didn't expect that, right? You have this conversation with the other agent, but hey, what is their hotspot? What are they wanting to do to get out? So knowing what that client on the other end wants by speaking to the agent and having that conversation to say, well, my client really wants the house, but the rates right now, as an example, right? So you say, okay, we'll give you 5,000 over ask, but we want X amount back in either, closing costs or rate buy downs. Rate buy downs are huge right now. And a lot of lenders have some programs, which is why I go back to saying, really talk to the lenders get some lender partners out there. You'll probably go through, you might be rock solid and get to stick with all the lenders that you originally connect with. I have not been that fortunate. I've gone through a couple of them. I do have really high expectations for what I expect my lender to produce and communicate. And I have that conversation up front. So really know what it is that they can do for you, but what you can, do for your client is only what the lender can do for you. So make sure you have that rock solid conversation. And I'm sorry, but if something doesn't work, or if they're not doing what they said they were going to do, find somebody else. Because your client's going to do that. If you as the agent are not doing what you're supposed to do, your client's going to go find somebody else that will. So understand you need to have that same expectation of your lenders. And then Nikki has a really good example. Sorry, Nikki. So interest rates property taxes are usually higher on new builds, right? However, Nikki's brand new. She got a client under contract at a new build because they have inventory, right? But thank you, Diane. Diane's cheering you on, Nikki. Because the builders have inventory and they need us again, their lender is offering a 4.5% fixed rate. So mortgage people are huge right now for you guys. So use them, abuse them, talk to them, get what you want out of them long-term, and find out what their limitations are, because that is going to be huge for your business always. Now that I probably beat that horse to death, does anybody have any questions on maybe questions to ask a lender, or what works, what doesn't work? You don't know what you don't know. So
I have a question about the new builds thing. How do you find out, I guess, do you just approach new builds, I don't know how to go about, I would love to sell some new builds, but I don't know how to go about doing it. How do you get in with them?
Go to model houses, right? Go in, talk to them, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Becky. I'm new to the industry. Just want to take a look around. Here's my card. I would like to get on your mailing list. And they always have sheets, right? Or they should, like what they have for inventory. And then they'll start to email you or text you. Like you might get a little overwhelmed. So pick a couple that you really want in some different price points, but they will send you the information and be like, hey, we have, like, I get a list from a specific builder every week. Here's what we have. Here's what's coming soon. And I have,
They're kind of like, they're just like open listings. Like the first one that brings a buyer is good.
yeah.
It's not like an exclusive right to sell or anything like that.
No, these are coming soon. If you have someone interested, and then they give you the price points and kind of where they're at with the builds. The new builders, the builders don't put everything on the MLS. So that makes it really hard. But if you have, a conversation, or if you just go in, I love to go look at model houses, right? Ignite teaches us, go do your 10, go look at stuff, do this, do that. Model homes are the easiest thing to go look at. And look at it from, if you had a buyer, and then the next time you go visit that same complex, you go look at it if you were buying it. What would you be looking for, and what would you be interested in as a buyer yourself? So kind of flip the role on yourself. And if you have somebody in your area that's super close, walk through it together and role play it, right? Nobody else is there. So role play it as if, go ahead.
Do you ever advertise those on Facebook or anything?
I'm sorry, you broke out.
Those on Facebook? Did you hear me? I'm sorry. Do you advertise those on Facebook?
Oh, the open house ones, or the new builds?
New builds.
If you have permission, you can, but you have to get permission to take their photos. So if the photos aren't out there and they're not on the MLS and they're not like Zillow available, you really can't. But if there's anything out there, regular media wise, just don't put the property address out there. You'll get in trouble. Question?
Yes, are we allowed to take any photos from like MLS listings, or are those fair game?
They're not.
They're not.
You can physically get permission from the listing agent.
Okay.
Get it in writing, just send them an email and be like, I would like to market this. Can I use whatever photo? But you need permission from the listing agent.
What about Keller Williams?
Keller Williams is branded to Keller Williams.
No, photos from like if you're looking at a Keller Williams listing, you use those photos.
You can brand it as a Keller Williams overall, but you still, the
Okay.
same rules apply. You can't use the address.
Got
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Good to know.
Any other questions around just going in and getting relationships with builders? And, you know, obviously all the builders have their own lenders, and then those lenders have other things that they can offer. You're not going to get the same touchy-feely, let's go have coffee, let's go do lunch, let's go do this, that you will from a lender that's, you know, in your same complex or that wants your business, but that's fine. I would say do both. Definitely do both. That way you have, or you know, you're on top of mind, right, from the new builds who have inventory or inventory coming due, and then they have special incentives. And who's not going to go with the builder if it's better for their client? So at the end of the day, you're just doing what's best for them. And, you know, a couple of people, once you get an established working relationship, I have somebody that recently gave up actually their commission to get my client a better rate, because I've used them in the past and I agreed to use them again. So they can do certain things. So that's why those relationships are huge, regardless of the market that we're in. Because once you've built and established them, you have them, and that they're willing to give and take because of, you know, you do business for them and they would like to keep you as a client. So.
Yeah, amazing.
Obviously, economic factors are going to play into everyday life, regardless if it's real estate or not. The unemployment rate in your market, should you know it? Yes. Pop on the news, do a Google search, just be the expert of everything, sort of. As far as, hey, so-and-so is looking for a house. Is there a chance? Did I just hear that something might be happening with those jobs? You know, just knowing any changes that are coming along with rules and regulations that might affect the housing market. Don't spend a ton of time on it unless you love that. My husband loves that stuff. I despise it. So a 5-minute little search, or popping into my, I belong to DMAR, so popping in and reading their stuff before you repost it. You can kind of get all the information in a quick little nutshell that you need, but just knowing and being educated enough to speak on the behalf of, hey, I read something about that, didn't they say? And if that's all you know, that's all you know, but at least you're coming as that person who, oh, hey, they did know about that. And then you have that commonality to, you know, to be able to speak. I don't even know what the word, good time to speak educated about anything, but I couldn't even find the word for that. So yeah, just find, if you, like I said, if you don't enjoy going and reading that stuff or watching whatever news program you choose to use, then don't force yourself to do something else. We have enough as new agents, right? I remember being a new agent and it's very overwhelming, and you have all of the stuff and you're like, everybody's telling me to do all these other things. Just do it in bits and pieces. A little bit of everything will get you everything. But don't focus on everything. Just, if you're on Facebook or whatever social media outlet you choose and someone pops up something, be like, oh, hey, I gotta spend 5 minutes and go to my, my DMAR or my NAR or CAR and look up that information, but literally just know bits and pieces a couple times a week. You have coffee in the morning, whatever, before you go to bed, eating lunch, just spend 5 minutes to know what the market trend is in Colorado. Please don't do nationally. Sorry, I didn't mean to roll my eyes. I have somebody on my team who has a client that is just heck bent on, well, I read this article. Well, the market's we're gonna drop 20%. That goes back to knowing your market. Nationally, great. Let's take a whole bunch of numbers that mean absolutely nothing to us as agents in the state of Colorado and spout that out is not helpful. So just know your factors in Colorado. Colorado is its own beast. It has nothing to do with California or Florida or South Dakota or Iowa. Everyone's market is different. So I just did a referral to Chicago, and they have no listings, right? So they have, in my referrals for a listing. So she was like, oh my gosh, I just switched to buyers because it's so hard. No one's listing their house. Well, if you guys recall, a few months ago, before Easter, that's how Colorado was. But if you take national statistics, we're not Chicago right now. We have a lot of inventory. We have more inventory every day. I just put a house on the market. It's going live on Friday. Do we have inventory? Yes, we have inventory. So just really drill down on your local market. What are the buyers? How many houses are on the market? You guys can pop on to RE Colorado every day if you want it to. Set your defaults to what's happened in the last 24 hours. It gives you this beautiful little snapshot of sold, price reduced, new, coming soon. Know all of that. Set yourself up on a search so you get that email every day if you want to, instead of looking at it, and signing on every day. There's a ton of things that you guys can do that will really help you dig down to what your clients are looking at. And then of course, the fun stuff. If you're taking someone to go look at a house and you don't know the area, look it up. What's nearby where a house they want to go look at? What health services are available? Is there anything fun to do? Does the neighborhood offer pools or, a rec center? Where's the local fire station? Those are all things that you just want to be able to say, oh, hey, since you have little kids, you never know, accidents could happen, right? I'm so excited this house, the fire station is around the block. It's important, as I'm not a new mom, I have all my children are grown, but as a new mom back in the day, that was important to me to know, okay, if something happened, it's just peace of mind. Questions around anything that we just went off?
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
This is really basic. Do we have access to DMAR, or is that something extra we need to pay for?
So everyone should be required to join, I think it's within 45 days, an association. But yes, you can go on to DMAR online and you can get a newsletter from them. I believe they send them out weekly. Also, you can, like your local chamber, anything like that, you can get emails and notifications for all of that.
Okay,
And then once you're a member of one of either SMEDRA or DMAR, I think there's one more, then you're automatically, after you're a member with them, then you're a member with Colorado and National.
okay.
Yep. But yes, you can go on to DMAR's website. Normally right when you get there, it'll pop up with this, sign up for a
These were due
newsletter.
in October, so they wanted us to wait a second.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I heard somebody say October. So It is absolutely worth it. It is a little costly. You are a business owner. It is a write-off. It's an expense to run your business. I will contact your tax professional, but DMAR and Smedra both have payment plans. So that's an awesome opportunity. Instead of choking out $616 or whatever it is right away, it's like I think they do it over 4 or 5 months. But yes, I believe by the end of this month, if you don't sign up for a payment plan, you can't have it. It might be the end of October, so don't quote me on that, but definitely go check it out. The payment plan is it's how I started, because I couldn't even imagine, like, I haven't done any business, I'm new, I have to pay all these fees, how am I supposed to do this? They will work with you, so just reach out to them.
I have a question about that.
Uh-huh.
I have a newbie question. Is MMAR the same thing, Mountain Metro Association of Realtors? Is that the same thing you're talking about?
As long as it's not an MLS, somebody was shaking their head no. So Denver Metro Association of Realtors, South Metro Association of Realtors, as long as it's an association of realtors, it probably is for your area, yes.
Mountain Metro, okay. Okay, and then what is your name? I didn't catch your name.
I'm Kelly Gibbs.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions after this, please feel free to email me. I'm just Kelly Gibbs at kw.com. My cell phone, I'm always available, is 720-245-3083. You can call me or text me. Probably should have given a little bit of background of myself. Sorry. I was flustered with an HDMI cord this morning. Electronics are not my forte, but I can sell some real estate.
Alfred just spent 30 minutes getting us in to the North Classroom Zoom here, so we can relate.
Yeah, it's been a great morning, so I appreciate that, because I still don't have all the screens up and it's not going to happen. So we're just going for it. So you didn't miss anything, and I apologize that I did not introduce myself. I just said, I'm Kelly and I'm doing this class today, and you're gonna have to give me a minute because nothing's working. I started real estate in 2018. I never imagined having a team. My husband joined real estate December of last year, and I now have 7 people on my team.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's been awesome. It's been interesting. I always wanted to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. I have 3 grown children. I had a job at one point with corporate that I wasn't allowed to hold a real estate license. And in 2017, my husband just said, you hate your job, go for it. And so I did. I started in the end of August. I got my license and I closed my first deal in November of that same year. I didn't do anything in December. I didn't do anything in January. So the struggle is real. So please understand that I am not an expert of anything. I have I failed and succeeded for probably, I would say your first year is always going to be your hardest. But understanding that if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know what to do, get up, go look at a house, pretend you're the buyer, walk into the models, which you could do before, but I promise you walk in and, hi, I'm a new agent. I work with such and such down the street. Just wanted to come check stuff out. Do you guys have any inventory? I might have a buyer. They are happy to help you. So take advantage of it. Don't feel like I don't know what I don't know. That's after going on 5 years, I don't know what I don't know, right? Every day is new. Every client's going to be different. So just having that little bit of information to be like, oh, I understand, Easter, the switch flipped. It was crazy. Yeah, rates went up. but they're still historically low. There might be something we could do to kind of get you a lower rate. Let me talk to this lender, or hey, have you considered a new build? You know, there are a ton of things, just knowing, get yourself out there and go and look and poke around and see what's available. Don't hide at home. Don't hide behind your computer. Just go.
I do have a question about what you said. Have you done like a cost benefit or new rates, or these rates, lower rates versus the tax, the higher taxes? Like it's still more expensive, isn't it? I mean, it's not a wash, right? It's still more expensive.
So yes and no. So all three factors go into your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? So you can have an HOA that's $50 a month and a purchase price of 500 or whatever, but your interest rate's at 7, or you can have taxes that are $3,000 a month, no HOA, and a 409. So all of those factors determine that payment. When my son bought in 2020, he was convinced, same thing, nothing wrong with that, but that's where those lenders come in huge. They can run different scenarios. Well, what if my taxes are $2,000 more a year, but I don't have an HOA? So he was looking at a condo that was, I believe, $250 a month or whatever, an HOA. The taxes were lower, right? Great taxes. Price point was 300, I think. But I showed him and his wife a house for $399 with no HOA. And it worked out to be the same. So all of those factors, it's not just that rate your property taxes, it's all of it. So that's where your lenders and knowing the market is huge, because there's an area, Castle Rock, where the taxes are ridiculous, right? Like in Founders, they're crazy insane. But right across the street in Terrain, they're lower for a brand new house. That's a little bit more expensive. So you just have to know all your factors. And that will come as something you will automatically probably look at when you start bringing buyers out to look. Because in RE Colorado, you can set them up, and I'm sure you can in PPAR as well. I just haven't played in that one yet. A certain tax amount and a certain HOA amount. So when you do send your clients that information, they're not looking at something they can't afford, because you've already had that connection with the lender to be able to service that client.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me find my little slideshow. Okay, so become the real estate expert of choice. Learning the market, yes. And by learning the market, to me, and that probably means different things to everybody, but learning the market is, to me, is a specific area. So you might have 2 clients that are in the area that you've lived in and you know it like the back of your hand. And then you have somebody that calls you out of the blue and they want to look in Denver. Well, how do you learn the Denver market? You jump on your computer, you pull up the information on whatever MLS that you use, and you find it out. It's all research. It takes 15-20 minutes. It will be 2 to 5 minutes once you've done it for a while. But more importantly to me than learning the market is just knowing the areas that they're interested in, what they have to offer, and what's sold. Again, a tool that you can get from your MLS. You can pull up anything that is sold in the last, 90 days. First, you could draw a picture around it. If you haven't taken your MLS classes, do that, because that is a huge tool for you to use with your clients. draw a circle around the area that they're interested in or the zip code. And you can pull up anything at your fingertips that you want to know. I feel like listening to your individual client and what they want or what they need is more important than knowing everything about that market. Like I said before, your expertise is, here's a snapshot of the area that they want, what's around it, what's the conveniences, based on what conversation I've had with my client. Learning your clientele, because they will all be different for the most part. You know, somebody might absolutely have to have that view, or someone else could care less about the view and they want the square footage, right? So just knowing what your client wants is huge, because then you base your search around what it is that they're looking at. So keeping the headlines, you know, keep that content in the back of your mind, spend 5 minutes every other day, or, you know, whatever day that some news feed pops up. Okay, what's going on in Colorado? That is going to be your most, in my opinion, that's going to be your biggest asset. When you're learning the market, one thing that is really huge is learning the language of real estate, and knowing your business. So notice the things, oh, then this will be like a work in progress. So things that I might have thought I'm a rock star in 2018, which clearly I wasn't, because there was a couple months that I forgot I was in a business to do my job and I had no closes. That what do I do different now over time? And what have I personally changed or implemented that works for me? Just because I'm sitting here spouting off stuff because I've successfully sold real estate for 4 years doesn't mean that's a great fit for you, right? I am horrible at sitting down and looking at the statistics every day, because it's not an interest to me. That's not where my passion is. My passion is going around, finding what's available, making connections with the lenders and the people, and what's happening in Castle Rock, in Douglas County, in Jefferson County, and knowing that versus I don't, you know, I do care what happens worldwide, but that doesn't affect me today. So if a client asks me today, what's going on in the market, I need to know. And then if you were to sit down and you had to make a list of who is your buyers, who is your sellers, what would be the first, what's the first thing that would come to anybody's mind? Does anybody know who their buyers and sellers are?
So far, family and friends of family.
Yep, which is good. Your sphere is huge. It will always be huge. People that you didn't even think were in the market to buy and sell, by literally not calling and saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent, you want to buy or sell? That might work for you. That doesn't work for me. But just sitting down, having your normal casual conversation. I happened to get my first deal because I was at a table at dinner with a large group of people. We traveled together and our kids played soccer in college. And one of the dads said, oh my God, I didn't know you were in real estate. So-and-so wants to sell their house. Would that be helpful? Yeah, that'd be great. That would be awesome. Thanks so much. Right. But it wasn't a, hey, guess I got my license. I got my license. Here's my card. Let me throw up all over you. It's just having that, your friends, your sphere, your neighbors, you know, walking around, introducing yourselves. We have a neighbor that loves to do get-togethers. I can honestly say in mine, there's probably, I think there's 4 agents on our street. None of us have marketed our neighborhood. But we all we get together and everybody is aware of what's going on. So I've gotten a referral from a neighbor, right? They weren't moving, but they know somebody that's moving. So if you just write down, or think of, your dentist or your doctor or your pediatrician, or, all of these people that you come in contact with. And hey, can you believe what the market is doing? Hey, when did you buy your house? Did you get your house before the market went crazy? Or, just those tiny little things, not I need to sell your house, but just knowing who your circle or square or rectangle of people is, no matter how it goes, that you can just have that conversation with. And it doesn't even have to be, I do real estate. It is, I had a girl who did Valentine's cards to everybody and just threw her business card in there. People she hadn't talked to in a while. So there's always fun little things that you can do without doing them, I guess, is the best way that I can say it. Family can be tough. My brother didn't use me, right? Why, I don't know, didn't ask, but he didn't. So family, depending on your relationship, might not want you to know their business. Family, on the other hand, could care less because they know and trust you, right? They're supposed to be your backup. They're supposed to be your safety net, but it doesn't always work that way. I will tell you, friends and family are probably your toughest clients ever. I've helped multiple people that I've gone to high school with, and some of them have been rough. Like, they expect you to deliver gold and the rainbow, and then before you close, they want the leprechaun too. And that's just not an option. So friends of friends are way easier. I've gotten a ton of referrals, which is great, from people that I have helped. Just know your starting and stopping point with friends and family, but they are definitely an awesome place to start.
Have you heard the phrase, have you heard the phrase, your friends are God's apology for family?
There you go. That's I have not, but I like it. I definitely like it. And it's true. Family's rough to do business with in any manner. And I can say that, like, I love my husband and we work together now. So both doing real estate, it has its challenges. So could you imagine if I was trying to work with him and do family buy and sell? I think I might be a raging alcoholic, because that would be super, it would be rough.
If it makes you feel better, Kelly, when I first started, my sister gave me one deal, but then wouldn't give me the other one.
Yeah.
And it was crushing, but now I have a cousin who's moving back to the state, and I said, listen, I understand it's weird to work with family sometimes, and I get it, but if you want help, I'm here. You just gotta put it out there and let them make the decision.
Yeah, you do. And it's crushing when you're like,
Yeah.
like my brother sold a really nice home, over $1 million in backcountry, and then bought another house that was almost 2. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Breathe.
thank you.
Just yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, family can go either way for sure. Just, yeah, they're definitely a great, one of the girls on my team, her mom is like her biggest cheerleader. She's actually dating my son, so she's in that, younger demographic. And her mom is like, oh, my daughter does real estate. Let that happen. Let your friends and your family tell everyone for you. So yeah, you can bug them all day long. But as far as getting the newer people and just reaching out to people that you haven't before to try and get those buyers, holidays, depending on what you celebrate, are a great way to get around that. Go to the dollar store, pick 10, 15 people, send them a happy Halloween card, or, hey, the holidays are coming around the corner. Let's have coffee. Let's connect. and then maybe talk about real estate and what they're doing now, instead of, I'm doing real estate, do you want to buy, sell, or invest? You know, and again, that might work depending on your relationship with those people, but you will find if you just take that little soft approach of like actually, I'm sorry, giving a shit about people and what they're doing in their lives, it really does matter.
Yeah, that makes good sense. I like that.
So listening to individuals, right? We look at it as taking the grassroots approach, and learn where your sphere gets their information. That goes back to my, you know, somebody on my team, their client keeps sending them the national news. That's awesome. Learn your national news. Find out what's going on in the world. That's great. That works for you. I'm going to focus on my area. I'm going to focus on Colorado. And so my advice to her was, hey, that's great. I'm glad you're up to date on everything that's going on nationally. Have you heard the amazing things that Colorado's got going on with real estate right now? Like, you have to know your area. National's great. Every client's going to throw it at you. Well, no, this is happening. Well, you're right. That is happening there, but we don't live there. Are you moving there? Because I thought we were looking over here. Right. So just understand what's going on. Not necessarily be on the defensive, right? You don't have to defend your stance on this is where we're at with this, but that's awesome. I didn't know that about the national thing. Do you know what I learned about Colorado's real estate? And they're like, oh, well, that's totally different. So you're not telling them that they're stupid and wrong. You're just explaining to them that that's not our market without making them feel stupid. My advice, my approach, obviously do what works for you. But the biggest thing at the end of the day is going to be, hey, there was 6 houses on the market. And especially when you have to go to that price conversation of you have a listing and we priced it a little too high. Knowing the numbers in their specific area for their specific style of home is huge, to be able to have that conversation and say, hey, I just checked, and in the last week, X amount of houses have had a price improvement, and your specific model is actually selling for blah instead of blah. And I know that's a big difference. Take some time to think about it. But remember, when we had that initial conversation and we talked about price and rates and where we were going, right? Knowing your information ahead of time makes those conversations after the fact a little bit easier to deal with. So just reading and knowing your numbers, popping on or setting yourself up on that search in your MLS and knowing those numbers ahead of time. So if somebody does ask you a question, or what are houses selling for, or what are days on market, that information is at your guys' fingertips, so use it. Any questions or comments or on any of that? Everybody's good, made sense. You can disagree with me too, it's totally fine. I know I have a video somewhere. Shockingly, I lost that video. So I'm gonna try and look for that real quick. Let's see. We'll go through our utilizing our resources. So we have the KW app, right? We also have, your MLS should have an app. Everybody has an app for that at this point in juncture. Use the one that works best for you. Keller Williams spent a ton of time on command and upgrading and our app and what was Kelly and all of these things that are great resources. If you guys go and you have coffee and you're sitting there and you want to look like you have clients and you're busy and you're on your phone, right? Look through your apps, find which works for you. Use those tools as if you were the one who was looking for a property. Put yourself in your buyer's shoes, put yourself in your seller's shoes. I think that's the best way to learn what someone wants to see. If you hear a conversation about someone else talking about, oh, we just did this to our basement, or the backyard was like this, or we extended whatever, depending on what area you live in and what fits your demographic that you serve, put yourself in that person's shoes, but use your apps as if you were them.
I might be the only person here who's this ridiculous, but I was trained on the app for 3 seconds on my onboarding a year and a half ago, and I have no idea what it is or why it is or what it does or how it does. And they've never offered. It's like I just erased it from all of my printed material because I could send people to that app all day long, but I have no idea to tell them why I'm doing it or what it is.
Right. No, and I get that. You probably actually had a little bit more training than I did. So
Share what I know, Kelly.
right, please. I will be honest, I default to my RE Colorado app.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to share. It's
Yeah.
brand new to me, and I can specifically send someone a home, just that home, and not overwhelm them. And I like the command app for KW because it keeps me kind of on track. You know,
Yeah.
if I don't have my laptop with me, or if I am waiting for a client, or I am sitting out somewhere, I can look and see what needs to be done. But
Yeah.
again, that's only as good as,
The data you put in.
right.
I would love to jump in here.
Yes.
Being a tech nerd, I would say I've looked at the RE Colorado app and it's good. I really do like what KW has done with their app. And for, I would say, tech savvy people or people that are constantly on their phone, they might actually like the KW app a little bit more and the features that are there.
No, and full disclosure, when I got on, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not a tech person.
Yeah.
So I can't even make this. So
Hey, Diane, maybe Diane should teach a class on the KW app.
yes,
What is this thing?
that would be awesome.
Well, and the other thing is KW app ties, I mean, oh my gosh, this is getting out, but the KW app ties so tightly with command. I mean, there is so much automation, there is so much throughput that you can leverage between those two applications. And in fact, when my last open house, I made sure my QCR for my app was there because I want them on that app so I can track, know what they want. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, but
Reference back to what they were looking at while they were at the open house.
That's just
right.
one.
Right. And if you've got all that funneling into your command app, you're just building the automation and for those, I mean, for yourself. So you do not have to do the manual work. So, okay, I'll hush.
Sounds good to me.
I elect her to teach a class.
Hey, Dan, you're volunteered.
You're voluntold.
We'll meet you at Starbucks.
No, that is awesome. And again, I said, like, I use what works for you. Just because I've said, hey, this works for me, doesn't mean it will for you. So sit there, play with the applications, the things that are available, and know what your style is, and absolutely use it, because we all have different strengths and weaknesses. I know what my weaknesses are. I am not afraid to share that. I do own it, but doesn't mean that I'm proud of it, right? I would love to be able to say, hey, here's this. You know, I got a Haystack app because my business card's electronic. That was the happy day for me. That was like a month ago, right? Like, I don't know how to do the stuff you know how to do. So you have a huge leg up with that. Use it. Anything you can use, go for it.
And tracking data is really good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I wish I could do that.
I
My
used to write
husband's
my
gonna
data
have
in
to
a
get on that.
notepad.
Got some gasps in the background. Okay, so we're gonna go back to integrating the Keller Cloud and running your business on command. I love that we have classes as to why command doesn't suck. Command and the app have come a huge way over the last 4 years. And it's great that those resources are available to us. So if you are, and you have the patience that I do not have to learn how to use that stuff, go for it. They are amazing tools, and it's great that the company actually provides access to these things that help you grow and expand your business and collect information that will help your clients down the road. Is that a better way to say that? As far as establishing your business on social media, how do you guys feel? What's your comfort level with social media? Yay, nay?
Zero.
Getting better, getting better.
0. Yeah, social media is hard. So one great thing, and I would ask if you guys have a title company that you've heard is great or that you want to use, and connect with them also. We have one of the ones, I haven't used them yet, but she gave me this amazing little calendar that they use in title. And because I am of the older generation,
Yeah.
I'm like, I struggle with it sometimes, right? So she has this calendar, and every month and every day, I'll grab it during one of our breaks and show it to you. It has what that day is, like National Hot Chocolate Day or Read a Book Day or Bow Tie Day. So I forced myself to go in, take pictures off of Pinterest, like for Bow Tie Day. I was like, okay, bow ties. So I typed in bow tie on Pinterest, and it gave me bow tie pasta. So I downloaded that one. And it gave me a dog with a bow tie. So I was like, well, that's adorable. And so I set up on Facebook for it to post on that day. And I put all the pictures with it. So if you guys do that, whatever, one night a week for that following week, right? Then there's one of your posts taken care of for you that it took 15 minutes. You stole the photos from, or you borrowed the photos from Pinterest. You use the tools that were available to you on a website, and you put them on Facebook. And it's just, people will look at that because it's fun and not, I'm a realtor, use me, right? So it's just an idea of something to do to try and get to those posts. Social media doesn't help you at all unless you comment, like, and share. It's statistically proven. I don't care what age demographic you're in, unless you physically, whether you mean it or not, wish somebody a happy birthday, or that's adorable, or hey, how did you find that color from a wall or a shirt, or I don't care what it is, comment on it. Because after you do that enough times, you're going to be reached by those people who follow those people who follow those people. It's just the way the chain works. So at first it's a struggle. I get it. I'm still on that struggle bus with you after 4 years, and doing it to automatically do itself is the easiest thing. If you want to pay somebody, if you have the money to pay somebody, then pay somebody to do it. I choose not to. I don't think it's worth it for me. I would rather work myself off the struggle bus and legitimately care about what someone's doing, and then show up in everyone else's newsfeed.
Nice.
I just want to give you guys a resource I just found out about yesterday, because I'm always struggling to find really good high-res images to steal from the web. There's a website called Pexel. You might know about it. Pexel. You can do a search. You can put in things like dogs in sweaters. And believe me, it's very fun to put that search term in. And hundreds and hundreds of images will come up. They're totally free. You can download them, use them.
Right.
They're very high res.
Do they have video?
Haven't found,
No, video on there?
I hope so, because now I'm gonna go check Dogs and Sweaters videos,
Yeah. 'cause
but I
What
haven't.
was the name of that one more time?
Pexel, P-E-X-E-L.
Thank you.
Yes, that's awesome.
Also, another resource that I have come to love is Canva, and it's super user friendly for like anything that
Yeah.
they have like Facebook videos, any sort of thing that you want to design is on there.
Canva.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canva's awesome.
Canva's good, and I
See-
have to say, command design is not as hard as it looks, and it stores everything. It has all of your logos and type fonts and everything in there. So the Canva design is pretty good too, or the command design.
One thing I did learn about commands, because I'm not a tech person, again, if you right click, it'll, because I messed up enough times to learn this trick. I would copy over my stuff and then I wouldn't save it, and then I would just walk away from my computer before I had to buy a new one. So if you right click it, it'll lock a cell or unlock a cell. So just make sure you lock or unlock it, and then you can work in it. Because again, not a tech person, and honest to God, it took me probably 5 times to figure that out, because I just don't have that. My brain doesn't work that way. So use command is awesome. Canva, sometimes you have to pay for stuff. You do get some free stuff, but command you can build, play, borrow all day long. I got my listing agreement from 3 other people and kind of pieced it all together in command, and it was awesome. So that's free stuff that's available. Once you get into it and you want to do other things, by all means do that if it works for you. But you guys, we have such an amazing amount of technology and information that is given to us by Keller Williams. So just dive in and suck up those frustrations and just learn what you can learn and then use it. But they do have some awesome info, and you don't have to be a great tech person, because right here, no, to do it, but it's there. And I have successfully built flyers from command, and I suck at electronic stuff. So if I can do it, you can do it.
You gave me hope, Kelly. Gave me hope.
Right? There is, I swear. It's frustrating. It might be with a glass of wine one night, but I can do it. It can happen. Other enrichments that are super important for you guys, which you know. So my husband and I kind of have 2 or 3 different places that we go every week. And that's been huge for us. Sometimes you don't feel like going. And then if you've gone long enough every Monday to this one place, they kind of miss you. We have gotten clients from there, either servers or people that hear us just having a normal life conversation. And then of course, meet some friends there one Monday, or, you know, get together whatever day you choose. It doesn't have to be every day of the week. Even if you don't drink, happy hours are huge. They serve food, right? You don't have to drink, but it's just a way for people to meet people without trying so hard. You just have conversations, and you can bring up something like, oh gosh, I wanted to look and see what this and this is counties doing in Colorado for housing. And then you can have a conversation about that. That's not really forced. Like, you should know what's going on a couple minutes every day. Study your market, go preview houses, it's consistent. Do it consistently every week. Do it for a month. If you don't feel like it's working, do something else, right? But don't just beat the dead horse. But know your market, sit there. If you don't know what to talk about, or you don't have anything, meet a friend for happy hour for appetizers, meet a friend for happy hour for a drink, but go to the same places at least once a week all the time. I suggested that to somebody else on my team, and she was like, oh my God, I got a commercial real estate referral just because I kept going to the same place. These people were having a conversation. I was like, hey, I could help you. And she got one. So it's just being present consistently. Definitely go preview those homes. I don't know how anyone else feels about it. I am I have a hard and fast rule for myself, and I throw it on my team. Yes, go look at houses, go look at what's on the market, go look at what's available. If the house is not vacant, leave them alone, please. Someone wants to sell their house and you got them all excited because a real estate agent's coming to their house. If you don't have a client, leave them alone. There's enough vacant properties around, or go look at model houses. I know people will probably disagree with me, and I don't care. I just think it's wrong to get someone's hopes up. And I also think it's karma, but that's just me. The MLS, the CTME, everybody has a ton of different courses that are free. Sometimes even CAR and NAR do the free classes. They'll send out a random email, be like, hey, September is, well, whatever, free CE credit month or whatever. Take them. If you're not busy, if you have the time, if you need the knowledge and you want to learn, take them. I take everything I can take when I can take it. Not just to satisfy my CE credit, but to know what the heck is going on, where I'm at.
Hello,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, you're good. And then read the book or listen to it on Audible, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. All great things. Knowing your language, something as simple as PITI. And if someone says that to you and you're like, crickets, like principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, just little things like MLS, right? But don't spout that off to a client. But if they ask you what it is, then at least you know how to educate, speak on something when asked. Or you can always Google it. There's that too. What are some other things that you guys have done or heard of, or, open houses are huge. Go visit them. They're open, right? If you don't have a lot of new builds around you, or if you don't have the opportunity to go look at something because it's vacant, open house, go to an open house. I love open houses. I love to do them. I love to walk the neighborhoods. I get a ton of clients that way. Open houses are awesome. If you don't have one in your market center to hold open, call another market center. Call a sign on a house that's been for sale forever and be like, hey, can I hold an open house? A lot of agents don't like to do them. They want their houses sold. You could potentially get a buyer, right? There's a numbers ratio. You speak to 10 people, you're bound to get, 1 or 2 to continue to engage in those conversations. You meet people at an open house, send them a thank you card. If they sign in, thanks for coming by. If they say they have an agent, hey, I know you're not interested, I just wanted to say thank you. Like, you need to take that initiative. No one's gonna just say, hi, I want to sell my house. Can you do it for me? It might happen, it does happen, but that's not the norm. And we're not in that area of people just going, oh, I'm going to sell because I'm going to get $500,000 more than I paid for my house 2 months ago. We're not there anymore. This is a business and you have to work it. Questions?
Yes. Does, this is probably, I don't know, I guess I'm a little confused, but if a different, like say Remax is the listing agent,
Call them.
we can also do an open house.
You can do an open house for anybody.
Okay,
You have to have your brokerage disclosure to buyer at your open house.
okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, why not? They're
Yeah,
not
'cause
doing it.
I'm up here and it seems like there's a lot of Remax listings and other people, not Keller Williams necessarily.
Yeah, why not? I've held an open house for Orchard before. Hey, I noticed your house has been on the market for 95 days. Can I do an open house? Sure, great.
And there, a lot of them are really open to doing that too.
Yeah. There's a ton of agents that are successful that have done this for years and years and years and years. They don't feel like they have to, I don't know that I'll ever stop doing everything that I possibly can, because you're helping people. You can potentially get a client out of it. You're putting your face out there. Again, use that lender or lenders that you have starting to establish relationships with and be like, I'm going to do an open house. Can you put a thing together and do it with me? Becky, you have a question? You're on mute, Becky. There you go.
Sorry.
They're good.
Hey, do you have to have a buyer's agent? Let's see.
Broker
Buyer's
disclosure to buyer.
Yes. Do you have to have one of those if I'm doing one for like Jody? Do I need a disclosure form there if I'm doing, because she's Keller Williams, or is that only if you work for, go to do an open house for another?
I would bring it with me always. I would always have it available, because then there's no question. Like if you have it and next to your sign up sheet, you're not the listing agent. I even have it at my own listings, just because understanding if it was your listing and someone came in and they weren't represented and they wanted to buy the house, right? That's a dream come true. You get both ends of the deal. You can't represent both people. So here's a definition of my working relationships. I can represent you as a customer, and here's why. So it just gives you that ability to, or if you're holding an open house for somebody and they need a buyer's agent, well, here's what a buyer's agent is, and here's what I can do for you.
I have another dumb question follow-up. Where do I find those? I've been a realtor for 2 days.
No, you're good. So either if you're not currently signed up for CTME contracts, which is what we use, just have somebody in your office print it out for you. They're all the same.
Okay. And it's the buyer disclosure form or the
So there's
relationships form?
definitions of working relationships.
Thank you.
Or if you email me, I can send you one PDF. It's just a PDF form, and just print it out. If I was talented enough, I could probably send you a link, but I'm not. So if you email me, I will definitely email you one, because I do know how to make a PDF and email it.
And Kelly, I'm not sure if newer agents know, but you get you can get a month of CTM free before you start paying for it. So think about when you're going to start wanting it, and then just sign up the month before, get your free month, and you can mess around with those contracts. You can see how the system works before you start paying with it. I found that really helpful.
It is extremely helpful. Thank you. Yes, the first 30 days are free.
Will be on there.
Yeah, everything's in there, and yeah.
And you can even start taking classes now.
Yeah.
To learn how to use CTME and navigate through it, so that when you do have a client, you know how to input all your stuff.
Yep.
It is a really great tool, and they do have free classes all the time.
And the classes are not thrilling, but they're informative.
No, right. It's the nitty gritty, not fun stuff that you really need in your tool belt to do your job. So.
What is it called?
It's CTME contracts.
Sorry.
Is there a link on RE Colorado?
No, it's a whole different business.
So if you're logged into RE Colorado, there is a quick link to it.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know.
So you can get to it that way, or you can just type CTME contracts if you're not signed up for RE Colorado yet, because I know sometimes that takes us a couple days too.
Hey, Kelly.
Uh-huh.
Email address, it's KELLY.GIBBS.
No dot, just Kelly Gibbs.
Okay, at KW.com.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Find my little. All right. So any ahas that we have related to either anything that we have just talked about, or Not even talked about yet. No? Okay. I'm gonna take, you guys want to take like a 10-minute real quick, pop out, get some coffee or water or whatever, and then we can jump back into basically we're just kind of recapping everything that we just went over, and then we can move to the next part. Does that work for everybody? So
Yeah.
we'll call it 10:30. So we'll 10:35. We'll come back.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. Did we go on break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 break
Diane.
until 10:35.
We're on a break, girl.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, standing up. What a thrill.
Yeah, can't sit down too long.
Oh, Lord. Not when you're my age.
My age, I'm probably not that far from you.
You're running a marathon on Wednesday.
Oh, I really like, when I first came in here on Tuesday, I seen him doing that. What a great idea.
I think so too. Oh, goodness.
Oh, Shannon. I guess no better, isn't it? Nope. Okay.
Alrighty then.
See, this is the kind of stuff I like to find. This
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
where did they find this? Is this stuff on RE Colorado?
RE Colorado puts out a monthly graphic for social media, and then they put out information that's more granular that you can extract from.
perfect.
Yeah, they do reports all the time. Or you can grab a report, like you can ask for a particular neighborhood, get information on that. So it's got a lot of good resources in it.
So I was trying to look at that KW. So I've got KW Command app and I've got the KW app. They're different, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay,
Hang on, let me come
one
up.
of them's got, so it's got
Yeah.
a little red eye.
Becky, what office are you out of?
Oh, and there's Diane, because she was talking about it. I wanted to ask her. I'm out of Foothills, Evergreen.
Okay.
So I was curious though, you would use KW, the white app, if I'll be simplistic here, to integrate with Command app. I'm a phone.
The white app is what I would call a user interface app. That would be your client app. That would be the one that you would say, hey, go download my app and you can look for properties yourself. And when they're looking for those properties, you will be able to figure out what they're searching for, what they're looking at, how many times they use the app and such. And on top of that, it's branded to you. If you pull up a house, you can scroll down and you will see your marketing profile there at the very bottom. And it says, hey, contact your agent. The red one is our app. As a real estate agent, it's just like the application that you log into your web browser and use, but it's on your phone. So does that help?
It does. And so you're saying you had to sign up for the white app.
I don't have to sign up for it, but your clients would have to sign up for it.
I don't. Okay. So it's automatically integrated with the red app? Or do I have to log in anyway, right? Maybe. I guess, yeah.
You know
okay.
what, Becky? I will be more than glad to drive up and walk you through it. I haven't been up to the Foothills and I don't know when. So if we want to set up a time, I'll be more than glad to help. The other person that can help definitely is Chris. He is our market center technical. What's the other word I'm looking for? Guru. Thank you. Technical guru. Anyway, he can talk circles around it. And if you really
he really helped me, and it took me 30 minutes to get on. So he's helped me really. Some of the questions you have, I've asked him.
I'm sorry, Stephanie, guys, who is, I recognize the voice, but I can't place the face. Who's with you, Stephanie?
Alfred.
Oh, Alfred, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was like, who is with her? So there's all the information. I mean, there's just tons. And if you go into Command, is it in Command? I think it's in Command, and you go to Connect, you can get to KWU, which is a university. And again, tons and tons of training out there. I have taken 2 or 3 really big courses that help.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I'll check with Chris and see if he can help me just integrate these 2 apps. That's the biggie. Okay, thank you. Kelly, I sent you an email, by the way.
I'm on mute. I just filled that. I'll give that to you. Oh, goodness. Sorry, I was answering questions and replying to emails, and yes, I will do that. All right, we'll just wait another minute or so for everybody to unstretch and come back. This goes to 1. Baby. All right, so kind of going back to everything that so we'll go back full circle real quick. Everything's pretty much interchangeable between, know your market and then build your expertise. So if you know your market, obviously that's going to help you build your expertise. So what type of market we're in, where is our inventory? How do we figure out rates and work with the lenders? What factors overall economically, and what factors other than market factors kind of all go into knowing our market, right? So just your area, and things like that, and then building your expertise, and knowing, what's in the headlines, keeping your content in kind of back of mind or top of mind, listening to what individuals want, kind of what they're looking for, and then just kind of learning where the market is, up, down, in the middle, however, buyers, sellers, or if we have a level market, and then knowing your clientele. What is your client looking for? What do they want? What do they need? Is there anything out of all of that that maybe you guys had a different mindset going into this? And is there anything that you think might be helpful or that you want to use going forward? Besides technology, which I need to learn.
So like when you're becoming an expert in your area, are you paying attention to changeover in restaurants? Like there's or like, I don't want to say new construction, but I'm in the Lamar Heights area, and on 68th, there was a field with an older house. Well, there's a commercial for sale sign, like being updated on information, like what's that going to be, or what's it zoned for?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any chamber or anything like that in your area, I would highly suggest getting on the mailing list or becoming a part of it if you're not, or at least popping into their meetings are free, right? And sometimes they do like their little get-togethers. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, but that's definitely a great resource and place to go to know what's going on in your specific area as far as rezonings or zonings, or that used to be a house, what's going in there. And you can always ask questions at those. If you don't know, somebody there most likely does. So take advantage of those events as well, and then that will help you be your expert in that area for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. So does anybody have some behaviors that have worked or stuff that they've taken action on that they wanted to share, or other tools that I have not brought up that are working or holding you accountable?
As a 50-plus-year-old woman, I finally just started doing what my mother tells me to do. And she had this genius idea earlier in the summer, which I hadn't thought about. I moved back to the state about 5 years ago, and I haven't really grown my sphere very large here. But she said, well, you should contact my sphere. And so I started just every month or so writing little letters, sending little notes, my business cards. Hey, I know some of them, some of I don't. Joyce told me to do this, and I do everything she says. So I'm a real estate agent, and I'm new, and I'd love to hear. And so feel free to borrow your family's spheres, your friends' spheres, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. That's a great one, especially on, social media. If you're on there and you have to post stuff anyway, or try and put yourself out there, then what a great way to be like, oh, hey, I send them a little message. I just noticed that we have 12 people in common, we should meet for coffee, or hey, something. But the note cards, handwritten things are awesome. Take the time, we're supposed to do the 10 contacts, the 10 handwritten notes. You can also target a specific area. I understand being new and, putting these expenses out and doing stuff like that, kind of a realist, right? So handwrite a little card. That's why I go to the dollar store, target 20 people in a neighborhood or whatever, buy something in bulk that doesn't cost a lot. And either I just wanted to introduce myself, hand deliver it. If you don't want to hand deliver it, mail it. Their addresses are public record, mail them out. Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. Or I noticed that the apartment complex is going up and you're losing your open space. Hey, I just learned at the chamber meeting that this is going away and these things are happening. Just wanted to touch base. And then when you start to get a response, obviously put your card in there, add your phone number, your contact info. Those are great ideas. Handwritten notes are huge. And special, shows that you care. My suggestion to everybody when they're looking to, and this is kind of a little bit off topic, but you hear people in your office that are like, oh, we do this marketing or we do this marketing. You're like, I can't afford that. Do what you can afford. If you can afford $5 a month, do $5 a month, but do it every month until you get something that comes out of it. It might take 3 months. It might take 6, but all it takes is 1. And then you've got the ball rolling. So like I said, if you can only do what your budget allows you to do, don't overstretch yourself. Don't put yourself out money that you don't have, but work towards getting that deal done. Market to whatever you can afford to market to. And I will go back to Command for that. It's awesome. You can select prices, you can play with the graph, you can do all of that stuff in Command. And that allows you to pick a price point. It'll mail it out for you if you want them to. And it tells you right then and there how much it's going to cost. And if you're like, oh, that's too much this month, or oh, hey, I could spend a little bit more, then just make that space a little bit bigger, but just do the same spot every time. It could be every quarter. It doesn't have to be every month. Just do what works for you and you will get there. I know there's a guy in our office. It was probably about a year ago and he had no business. He didn't know what to do. And he's like, I can't afford it. I was like, do what you can afford. And he's had 3 or 4 deals since then because he consistently did literally $5 a month because it worked for him and he was consistent. So just take those little things. Yes, big picture is awesome, but you're new. Big picture isn't where you're at right now. So let's get to that big picture. Use the tools and resources that are available. Use Command, it's free. You pay for it in your office dues, whatever. It's there. So use it. Just make sure you have the other stuff going at the same time. Be consistent, be out there, be transparent with people and know what you're talking about. Gather the information. It's out there. Let's see. Oh, yes. This, there is a do not call list. Do not call the people on the do not call list if you choose to call people randomly. I believe, and I'm hoping that if I can make this bigger on my screen, there's a, see if I cannot put this out on the chat. Again, technology, not my forte. So I can't. And it might be on your guys' material as well. The do not call list has that. There's a website. It's www.kwconnect.com, then /page/industry-resource/DNC, do not call. And I will still continue to try and put this out there. Or if someone wants to put that in chat, that would be amazing. I have a PDF that I cannot copy this from. So yes, if you guys choose to make your calls off of random whatever, if you're calling off of expireds or anything like that, make sure they're not on the do not call list. They will fine you. The office gets some nasty phone calls. These people don't want to be called. Don't call them. Just do the right thing.
You repeat
Same
that.
goes for door knocking. If it says no soliciting, don't even leave anything. Don't go. Just don't do it.
Yeah, so I might have to throw a little curve into that one. When I walk a neighborhood for an open house, I knock on someone's door for no soliciting because I'm not selling them something. I'm inviting them to my open house.
I do it for that, but
Yeah.
for other door knocking, I don't.
Oh, yeah, no,
Because
absolutely.
why make things more unpleasant than they need to be?
No, you don't want to get yelled at. You won't be scolded like a child. Don't knock on their door. They don't want to be bothered, but I will do it for an open house. I won't do it for something to get business. So yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry, someone else asked a question.
Well, I was trying to type in what that website, but somebody said they're working on it. Diane said she's working on it, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Because I could probably do is type it in there. Oh, look at that. All right, I will let her do that. Because I can't use the screen behind me, I'm like working on this laptop screen and I can't even do contracts on my laptop. I do them on a big computer screen. So. All right. Hey. So we have 20 minutes of everyone's favorite role play. I am the worst person in the world to lead role play. I do not enjoy it. I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. And if some people might feel that it's forced, some people need the practice. So again, I'm just going to say whatever works for you, let it work for you. Normally when we're doing like lead gen and like role play stuff, it's really hard to do all via Zoom. I don't know how to lead gen to let you guys go for 45 minutes to do lead gen, but if everyone could possibly nod their heads and say they'll do it after this is over, that would be awesome. It's just kind of silly to have 45 minutes of dead Zoom air while everybody's lead genning. I don't know another way around that. How about we could talk about, has anyone had success with lead generation? And what success have you had? Have you invited someone to coffee, or, you know, there's a book, Never Eat Alone, you're supposed to go to lunch with people. What, does anybody have successes they could share?
I can go ahead and share one.
Awesome.
This is pretty recent, but on LinkedIn, I connected with a super nice lady that does insurance and also a lender. So we actually got like coffee yesterday and we're all pretty much the same age. We just graduated. So it was kind of a nice little factor to touch on and kind of say how's business going for the newly out there. And we are actually all holding an open house together next weekend. So just kind of even getting on LinkedIn and seeing who you have mutual connections with or something that you can connect on. I've found that it makes it a lot easier to do business with someone that you have a legitimate connection with and can kind of play off of that. So I'm super excited to hold an open house with them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great. That's exactly it, Taylor. So finding those lender partners and knowing what works and what you guys do and don't have in common and what obviously we all have the same end goal, right? The lender
Yeah.
wants to close, the insurance person wants to be part of that. They can help facilitate that, their piece of it. And they need you as well.
Off of that, at our meeting, the lender was saying that he has so many pre-approved people, but they're hesitant to buy, obviously, in the current market. So I called him today and I was like, why don't we get these people out to coffee, see what their concerns are, voice our opinions, kind of steer them if they have any kind of wrong ideas or are following that mass hysteria of the housing market crash and all of these crazy things that are out there right now. So just kind of shooting our shot of, yeah, they're hesitant, but they're also pre-approved. They're almost there and they don't know what could happen if we
Right.
aren't talking to them.
So again, your local market, not the national news,
Yep.
right? Put their fears a little bit aside and let them obviously do their own research to understand, okay, nationally, I get it. Colorado's, that's not where we're at in Colorado, right? We caught up to everyone else's prices, where everyone else that was already at prices that we're at now also rose. So yes, I can understand that fear, absolutely. But also ask the lender, hey, can you do a cost analysis for me of the cost of waiting, right? And then approach it with, hey, these houses have been on the market for 45 days. If you love this house, let's go look at it.
Yep.
We
That's
can
right.
ask for a credit, right? All I can say is no. But they want to sell their house or they wouldn't have listed it in the first place. So I say go for it. I'm not afraid to hear no, right? If you're afraid to hear no, real estate might be an avenue that you might want to really think about in the right spot, because you're gonna hear no, but no is okay. It's when you hear nothing, then that's the problem. Because you'll hear so many no's, but you'll get a yes, right? And if that didn't work, then maybe this property will. So let's look a little bit higher in price or lower in price, depending on what my area is doing before we ask. Somebody that's been on the market a week is probably not going to give you a rate buy down. And just, you guys, please, 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 if you learn nothing else from me, read the blanket notes that are in the MLS as an agent. Read them. If the agent is awesome enough to put them in there in confidential notes, they might already be offering a buy down. The client looking for the house can't see that. Do your job and read those notes. It is a huge benefit to you, and you would be shocked at agents that have said, thank you so much for reading my notes. I'm like, I would like to know the information before I call you, because then I'm educated about it too, right? So do your due diligence. It really, really, really matters.
So I have another dumb question.
Never a dumb
What is
question.
a rate buy down? I don't understand that.
Oh. That's a good question.
That's an amazing question. So there's multiple ways to explain that. There's multiple ways to do it. A lender is going to be your best person to explain it. However, currently there's some rate buy downs don't make sense for every loan. So there's 2-1 buy downs where your rate is, I don't even know what rates are today. We'll call it 5.5 for the first year, 6.5 for the second year, and then whatever the current rate was, right? So if rates are at 5 today, then it would be at 3% for the first year, 4% for the second year, and then 5% for the rest of the loan. So it gives you year 1 and 2, a lower rate for year 1 and 2.
How is that different from a car?
How's adjustable rates are for the life of the loan. A 2-1 buy down is year 1 and 2.
Okay.
But again,
I have a meeting.
great lender questions.
And the idea behind it, Becky, is that rates will go down again in the next couple of years, and the owner can then refinance to get the lower rate at that point, rather than but I paid double digits for my, interest on my first home loan. So I think this seems low.
Right. I did too, right? And so that's why I say rates are great. Historically, they are still low, but you have these people that have been looking for a house that were getting outbid it for the last 2 years and rates were at 3%. So now they're freaking out because they can afford less house, but can they? So then again, that's where you look on days on market, know your area and ask that seller, hey, you're asking 550 for your house. I have this buyer. In your head, you're saying everything statistically in this neighborhood is sold for 570, right? So if I get the buyer at 560 and the seller to give us concession to buy down 4 points or whatever, it's like 20 grand. It's a lot, right? You're paying 10 over ask. You're asking them to contribute 10. So they're kind of basically just coming in 10 under, and they can buy down your buyer's rate. You don't have to go that extreme, but that's just an example of things that you can do in this market.
Okay, and the disadvantage for the buyer is what?
They took $10,000 less than that.
Okay, gotcha.
They got less than they wanted. That's why I said mine's kind of an extreme. Like it all depends on your price point. If you're looking at $300,000 properties, that's probably a little excessive, right? So adjust it accordingly, but know what it is. Call your lender. You have that relationship that you're working with your buyer and say, what do I need to get them in this house? What if the rate was 0.5% lower? What they can physically tell you the dollar amount that it requires to do that. And that's how you write your offer.
If I have like a local lender that like I want to share with everybody who has like these unique programs and also like some other unique programs, could I just like put that website in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Absolutely.
What's the name of the lender?
It's actually my mom. Her name's Anita Martinez Trum. She works with Nova Home Loans. They're a local correspondent lender, and they actually have they have like the 2-1 buy down program.
Awesome.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Nova's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've worked with Nova before.
So they have like the 2-1 buy down program. They have a bunch of other unique programs. They also have, which is really great for like first time home buyers and maybe even buyers who need a little help on their credit, a free credit services department. So they can help your clients get their credit in the right place before getting them pre-approved. And the thing that my mom personally does is she always makes sure people are pre-approved, not pre-qualified, before she gives a lender letter. So she makes sure they're fully ready to go before giving the realtor that lender letter and like wasting your time, quote unquote, going and showing these people houses.
That's a really great point, Taylor. Thank you. So there's 2 Taylors. Questions to ask the lender, right? Again, you don't know what you don't know. You know, do you do desktop underwriting? What is desktop underwriting, right? You don't know. I'm sorry.
0924.
I think they might be on the call.
Oh, somebody's on a phone call. If you could mute yourself, that would be fantastic.
And he can explain all this stuff to you. It's a great content.
So automated underwriting or desktop underwriting, it can be called various things, is better than just, oh yeah, here's a piece of paper. I think you'll be good. Go look at some houses. It's you're approved, right? Yes, we still have conditions that we have to meet because we need to go through full underwriting, but you've basically been underwritten as much as you possibly can before you get to the closing table. They'll still do the full blown after the fact, but the chances of it falling through once that it's occurred are very, very slim. Like they have to be, your buyer has to be one of those that goes out and buys a car, does something stupid before they close to not close. So those are just a bunch of different, you know, do you do desktop approvals? How does your underwriting work? What criteria are you using to give me this letter? Like, am I wasting my time? All valid questions, and you have every right to ask those to the lenders. Are you a broker? Are you going to broker this out? Do you sell my clients information? What benefit do I have by using you? You know, what are your fees? What do you charge for an appraisal? Because it will vary.
And also too, like another great point to add to that is like now a lot of like loan companies and like they're starting to open up their own servicing. So like normally they sell, like my mom's company Nova, they normally before they got their own would have sold the servicing off to like Penny Mac or whoever. Now they have their own servicing department. And so like there's a chance, I mean, I don't know what the probability of that chance is though, but there is a chance now that that can get just sold off to their servicing department and stay within Nova versus getting sold off to like Penny Mac or whoever else.
Yeah, the chances of your buyer's loan getting sold are pretty darn high. And that doesn't matter what market we're in. We have no control over that. And at that point, if the closer tells your buyer that at the closing table, they don't care. They're closing on their house. They're happy.
It can make a difference. It did with a deal I did this summer, working with a lender versus a broker. And the first deal fell through because the broker had zero skin in the game. They didn't have to make the extra effort to get a non-conforming condo. The deal fell through the day before closing.
Out.
Because they just wouldn't lift a finger. Whereas the next lender that these buyers worked with was working on their behalf to make this deal work. So that can make a big difference.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything bad about lenders by any chance, but they're going to tell you what you want to hear. That's why you need to ask the questions instead of just letting them tell you what they're going to do for you. You need to make it very clear that I need to know what your skin in the game is. What are you going to do to help this client? Are you just going to fluff it off and pass me off? And then the other thing is I've had great experiences with so many different lenders and different companies. And one thing we just have to remember is if it's not local, like if it's outsourced somewhere and they're in California, their rules are different than ours. So just to make sure that lender understands we're closing on the 16th doesn't mean that we close on the 16th and the money can be there on the 18th. Like I need to know that the money is going to be there the day of closing. And that had come up a couple of years ago. It's like, oh no, we are 3 days blocked. I'm like, oh no, we're closing today.
Yeah. Other people might have had this happen if you were in the market either this spring or last spring, when you were putting bids in for your clients, for your buyers, there had to be a lender letter there that was, if it was good, it was specific to the property. It had the property's address, the property's amount that they were offering for it. And it said specifically, yes, these people can afford this particular piece of property. And if you didn't have somebody who was answering the phone on Sunday when you were submitting, writing and submitting your contract basically didn't get looked at by the seller's agent.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And so it's unfortunately a lot of it's trial and error. And I would strongly suggest you guys ask around to more seasoned agents in the office or whoever, just be like, hey, what questions should I be asking the lender? Because you have every right. You're entrusting them with your client. So ask the questions. And if you don't know what to ask, if you don't know who to ask, Google it. If there's very specific things that you have a right to know. So any other, and Taylor's, yours was awesome. Reaching out and following up and speaking to people and, getting on the same page with where you want your business to go is an awesome idea. Any other conversations that you guys have had or heard about for, lead generating, or what do you think you're going to start implementing after today?
I never would have thought this when I started a year and a half ago, that I would be a weekly door knocker. But I happened to hook up with a more experienced agent who wanted a partner along. And I try to get out of it every week, and I'm super wily, and she never lets me out of it, which is great. And I have watched her twice this summer knock on a door where someone is actually in the midst of trying to figure out how to sell their house. And one is already closed and the other one's gonna go on market in about 3 weeks, and it can happen. And if nothing else, you're getting out in a neighborhood, you're getting your face known, maybe you're dropping off a door knocker. I'm gonna start offering with, in alliance with a HVAC company, in October, November, I'm gonna offer a weekly drawing for a furnace, servicing. And I'm hoping that I'll get some information, some contact information in my database from that, so I can start tracking people in these neighborhoods that I'm working. But, don't knock it till you've tried it. You might think you're not a cold caller, you're not a door knocker, you would hate to stand in a field during a race day and hand out information, but you might love it too, so.
Right, and it only takes one. I'm not a fan of door knocking, but I have been successful with it. I knocked on a door for a for sale by owner and I got it. I was like, you're probably sick and tired of people knocking on your door, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, then put my sign in your yard and you won't have to deal with anybody anymore. And he just laughed, right? Like, it's just breaking the ice. Like, I'm not here to overpower you, but here's the statistics. Here's what I could do for you. Here's what I bring that you don't necessarily have for yourself, without saying that. But here's my listing presentation. Take a look at it. If they don't want to talk to you, they'll at least take the paper.
Yeah.
Right. So bring it to them. All they can say is no.
Another one you mentioned, Kelly, was that I just love is you're having an open house. Go the day before and door knock all around it and say, we love nosy neighbors. Come see what these people did to their bathroom. You are gonna die laughing, or whatever. Just get them in the door, because that could very well be a future connection for you to sell a home, or you might find buyers there as well. So when you're offering something, it's always easier, like an invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do invitations. They say you're invited. We let them know what time. One thing we've never done, but someone has suggested, and I swear one day I'm actually going to do it, is you let the neighbors in like a half hour before the open house.
Yeah.
The neighbors in the neighborhood are coming anyway because they are nosy. So make them feel welcome. And they are honestly the best people to pick who they want to live by them anyway.
Absolutely.
We've had so many people be like, oh my God, yeah, my friend's in town, we're gonna do this, but yeah, they're thinking about moving here. You don't know.
And they're a good resource of information on the neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I've had buyers that will go knock, like, we're looking at this house, tell me about the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's better that you know before they do.
Yes.
So yeah, those are all awesome. Those great tools, you guys. And I know it, trust me, I get all nervous and palpitations and freaking out. And oh my God, I don't want to knock on the door. I don't know what to say. And then they open the door and you're like, hi, hey, just thought I'd pop by.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just you being genuine. If you truly care and you want to actually help them, it really does get easier. And I will say, for those that aren't comfortable with it, role playing might be a really great option. Even if you have to role play with yourself, look in the mirror, ask yourself questions, role reverse yourself, pretend you're walking with a buyer through, a model home. Point out all the stuff that you would want pointed out, good or bad, and just get used to doing it. Go with a friend, right? Like, hey, yeah, I'm really bad at this. Can you pretend like I'm selling you this house? And they'll do it. And then you get experience, and then they're like, well, maybe I want to move. This is a really cool house. It could happen. It could happen. All right. Does anybody else have any ahas or anything that they think would be great to implement, or something that you've been thinking about but aren't sure how to start it?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I just wanted to add, I did some door knocking during an open house, and I just started out my little spiel with, hey, I just wanted to warn you guys, there's going to be some traffic in the area. And, I didn't want you to wonder what's going on in the neighborhoods. I just wanted to give you a heads up. We're having an open house. And that was a really good way to break the ice without them feeling like I was trying to be salesy.
Oh, I
Right.
like that. I like that a lot.
That is the easiest thing. Hey, it's gonna be a nice weekend. I know there's a lot of kids in the area. I've seen them out playing. There's gonna be a lot more traffic, so I just wanted to let you know, we're having an open house. And you should come by. But that's perfect. That's one of the easiest ways to knock on someone's door during an open house, especially when they have a no soliciting sign. Hey, it's gonna be gorgeous out and we're expecting a lot of traffic. Just wanted to let you know. That is perfect. I don't think we quite killed 45 minutes with that, but that's okay. Let's see where we're at here. Well, we are. Okay, Kelly's gonna try and find the videos really quickly. If you bear with me yet again with my technical savvy self. And I will try and find the video. Because I think someone will kill me if I end this an hour and change early.
We won't tell.
I'm like, well, we didn't do the 45 minutes and then there was another 15 and I could kind of stretch that to an hour. So we're close, right?
Yes.
And I know there's going to be videos that we have to play. So as long as collaboratively, we could go ahead and say, yes, you will watch your videos and prepare for your class tomorrow. So I'm sure your teacher will be way more prepared than Kelly was with the screen. Yeah, I will stay on here and see if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns or anything. 15 minutes worth of questions. You guys can drag it out.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yay.
Because I'm trying to come up with some houses to go preview this weekend. And I am definitely right there with you. I want a vacant house. I do not want somebody having to get ready, stage everything, leave the property. I would feel so bad just for me to come and preview. But I'm on the MLS and I'm trying to kind of figure out a good way to determine if it's vacant or not.
Oh, good question.
So with Broker Bay, I can't help you with that. If there's still showing time, I can. Anything that shows up. So the easier way that it used to be, instead of literally looking through every listing, to scroll down and see if it's owner occupied or vacant.
Where would that be?
When you're in the listing on RA Colorado, if you scroll down to the bottom, it should be almost all the way down by who you pay for earnest money, and it'll say occupied, it'll say owner or vacant. Or if it says in any of the
Oh, I see it. Okay, okay. I finally figured. Okay, thank you.
yeah, but if you have a bunch of them, you should be able to do like a multiple showing cart in showing time. And that, if you pull them all up at once and do a multiple showing, it'll literally say in showing time if it's a go and show. If it's a go and show, 9 times out of 10, it's empty.
Okay.
So that is also, but yeah, unfortunately, there's a couple of tools that I am not aware Broker Bay has. So you would just have to individually pick those listings.
So, well, that will help a lot. I'm sorry. I should have read better, because it's right there. It's like
No, I had
there's
the
a
same
lot of
question.
information on there.
so. Okay, thank you. Okay. I chewed up 3 minutes. Okay, next.
Perfect.
Good job, Diana.
Anybody else have anything?
Well, I had that same question and I noticed it was in the notes where it said the house is vacant. So,
Yeah, it's sometimes in the confidential notes. Even if it's, I would double check if it does say owner, because some people don't want the world to know it's empty. look in the confidential notes and it'll say, home, usually says house is easy to show, vacant or whatever. And plus sometimes if you scroll through pictures 2, 3, and 4, there isn't any furniture. It's a really good indication at the bottom, it's empty. Or if it's virtually staged, it's usually empty. You could also, I only giggled because you didn't hear this from me. If you go to like Open Doors website and search for properties in your area, they're all vacant. And you can just schedule it as a preview through Open Door. They're usually on the MLS too, but that's an easier way to kind of get around that. Because you can do a self-guided tour and don't have to be an agent to go see their houses, so. Anybody else have anything? No? Let me just do one final attempt to see if I can't get this video to play and share my screen. And if I cannot, then that was totally my bad.
Oh, that's a good question. Where are these videos? Are the links to the videos so that when we need to watch them, we can?
It should be in your, there should be a link in your guide for each individual class.
Right?
And I did download something earlier that said video, but all I got was slides. So let me just double check.
Well, I don't see it in the book. Maybe I don't have the right one downloaded. I'll go look.
And I could be wrong. It could just be slides, and I assumed, somebody told me I had a video.
I think
So-
there's links in the slides.
Okay,
I think there can be links in the slides. So that's worth trying.
yeah, it would definitely be through the actual student files. Let me look at the participant guide real quick in the student files and see if the links are in there. Because they're not in my PowerPoint. All right, there's that. So our takeaways definitely for today, 10 conversations about real estate. So whether that be in person, on the phone, I count texts and social media. I think that helps kind of knock out your 10 to try and at least get the practice in to start your conversations if you're not comfortable yet face to face. Definitely get yourself in touch with some lenders. If you don't have any title companies that you work with now, find out who the rep is for the title company and just say, hey, I don't have any listings right now. I'm new to the business. They will be willing to talk to you, meet you for coffee, do whatever. They'll offer, hey, what can I do to help? And be like, I don't know, what can you do to help? Because I'm new and I don't know what I don't know. And they have resources on their sites. They have obviously things that you can purchase. Title's a little bit more limited, obviously, with stuff that they can do. I highly suggest reaching out to agents in the office, or if you don't have any that don't have open houses that you guys can hold, reach out elsewhere. Get that lender partner to work up something about what the price would look like and what a loan would look like. They're happy to print them out, have them at the open house with you. It's just great. What if someone walked in and they didn't have a lender, and why not, right? Like 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm gonna mail out my thank yous. We had this lender here, put both your business cards in there, right? They signed in, they deserve a thank you. Another great way to get people to, I'm horrible about having people sign in. I don't know why. I just can't do it, but I do drawings for, you know, a bottle of wine or whiskey. Don't put the full bottles at your open house. I just have this incessant fear that like some teenager is going to come walking in. So they unfortunately will have an unpleasant surprise if they steal my bottle of wine because it's full of water. But
Yeah, white wine.
right. The Mayomi bottles work really great. Doesn't matter what kind of wine it is. If you just fill that bad boy up, because it's a twist off top and you fill it up with water, even if it's red, it looks like it's full of red wine. So that works. Or if you have a different bottle, put food coloring in it. There are definitely ways to get around that. And that way you're just covered. Nobody can say that you served alcohol to a minor. So yeah, different things like that. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It can be a Starbucks gift card. It could be a grocery store gift card. It could be $5 whatever, you know, just do something that you're comfortable doing that works with your personality that you would normally do. And then hold a drawing. Register for a chance to win. Everybody likes free stuff, right? Name, phone number. You can do email or their house address. If you do house address, then you have an excuse to deliver it to them. If you do email, you can put them in your database, then you can put them in your command, and you could do all of your drip campaigns and all your other stuff with their information. So those are just some other ways that can count towards your contacts and then building up your database. And if you're not comfortable doing an open house by yourself or with a lender and you need a partner, reach out to somebody in your office or, you know, somebody in the productivity coaching classes, or ask an agent that's holding their own. Hey, can you teach me how, show me what you do?
Kelly, just as an aside, Margaret encourages us not to do open houses by ourselves for safety reasons.
Right.
So we always buddy up because of that, but it's also not when you do.
Yeah, no, I think buddying up is huge. But I'm just saying, if you can't do it with a lender, do it with another agent.
Yes, and there's a lot of new agents that are really motivated to do open houses. All you gotta do is just put it out there.
Like Alfred.
Yes.
And if anybody is in the Golden area, I'm holding one open this weekend if you want to stop by.
Ah, where are you going to be? I'll be on 61st.
23rd, so 12995 West 23rd Avenue.
Okay.
They were actually my first buyer in 2018, and now they're selling their house.
Wow,
Nice.
it's beautiful. The cycle of life.
Yeah.
What day, what time?
12 to 4 Saturday and Sunday.
12 to 4, okay.
So big.
We go big.
Good, because I'll go there and get some tips.
We have snack packs. We usually have, I don't know if we'll do a security board because the way that this one kind of sits up, but yeah, there'll be snacks. Fruit snacks, little almonds, all kinds of good stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I bring my husband? Like he's not a realtor, but.
Yes.
he's gonna bring
He
me.
just cannot
Okay, good.
speak on behalf of the property in any way, shape, or form, but yes, he can be there. If someone asks him a question, he can hand him a flyer about the property, but he can't talk to the client.
I didn't hear that question. Could you repeat it? Somehow Becky's volume has gone way down.
Becky asked if she could bring her husband with her to an open house to hold one open. And yes, absolutely, you can. They just, if you're not a licensed agent, you
Yep.
cannot speak on behalf of the property in any way
Okay.
or do any activities that a realtor would do.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, I'm going to slap my own hand because we had 45 minutes of calling and then 15 minutes of role playing. So I am actually going to excuse the class for the rest of the day because that would basically be the rest of the time that we had left. So I'm not really letting you go that early. I'm just gonna tell myself that anyway. But yeah, reach out if you have anything else. Let me know.
Thanks for your
Thank-
time, Kelly.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for your patience and my technology.
Thank you.
And I'll see you Sunday.
Sounds
Bye,
good.
guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Alfred, thank you so much
Thank you.
for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, Ryan Smiley is a young, hungry guy from one of the big national mortgage companies.
Mhm.
He's just been he's gone to an open house with me. He's been a great resource. He puts out great videos. If you want to share those on, social media. So I highly recommend him. Tell him I sent you.
Okay.
And I try to have, I use Mitch, of course, in our office as a small, really local lender. I use First Bank because they also know the Colorado market. And then I use Ryan because he's a national